we basically had to prove that you had something to do with his death.
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. Please don't do that, no.
This is 35-year-old Federico Gondola, sitting across from homicide detectives after an elderly couple was found shot dead inside their own home, with the killer having walked in and out like he belonged there.
I wouldn't murder nobody. I did not murder. I would not take a life.
How about two?
What?
Everything comes back to the fact that you're a freaking stone cold killer.
What follows is a 2-hour chess match between two seasoned homicide detectives and a man who walked in thinking he could explain his way out of anything.
Man, let me tell you, I got an arrest warrant for you and charging you with murder.
Me?
On July 10th, 2018, at 1:44 in the morning, the Osceola County Sheriff's Office received a 911 call from a woman who sounded panicked and disoriented. She said she was sitting in a car outside a 7-Eleven somewhere in St. Cloud, Florida. She told the dispatcher that someone had killed 2 people. Her last words to the dispatcher were that they were about to drive past the house where it happened, and she was scared for her life. An officer was immediately sent to the 7-Eleven parking lot. However, he found no one there, and the on-shift clerk hadn't seen anyone in distress. The lead was dropped, and 4 days passed. On July 14th, a family member of Roosevelt and Jeanette Dixon, a retired couple in their 70s living in Kissimmee, Florida, called deputies because she couldn't reach her parents. Deputies then arrived at their home for a welfare check and found what no one wanted to accept. Each shot once in the head in what appeared to be a senseless and cold murder. The couple had been dead for days by that point, but the detail that unsettled investigators most was the absence of signs of forced entry. Instead, they were let inside by the Dixons. Soon after, the woman who made the 911 call would resurface 10 days later at a behavioral health center in Melbourne, telling staff she hadn't slept in 5 days. Through her, investigators got a name that kept popping up: Federico Gondola, a handyman who went by Rico, someone who, coincidentally, had done computer and electronics repair for the murdered Dixons for nearly 3 years. On July 22nd, 2018, just after 6 a.m., deputies took Federico into custody at the Osceola County Sheriff's Office for interrogation. But what Rico had prepared to tell them would be so detailed and so rehearsed that the detectives would have to painstakingly take it apart, piece by piece, lie by lie, over the next 2 hours.
Unless you're a cold-hearted ass freaking killer. So, see, we don't have any no pencils or pads with us. I'm just gonna record this. If you cannot afford a lawyer and want one will be provided before questioning without charge. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you have any questions regarding the Miranda rights?
No.
Before the questioning even starts, the detectives read Federico his Miranda rights, which is already a telling detail in itself. Because if the police considered Federico just a witness or a random person of interest they wanted information from, they wouldn't have Mirandized him at all. The fact that they do can mean one thing only. Federico has walked into this room already considered a suspect in a double homicide. In hindsight, this would be the exact moment a smart person or an innocent one would ask for a lawyer. But Federico doesn't.
So what do you do for a living?
Right now, we're trying to get this home appliance service going, me and my father, and that's what we do right now.
Just so it's just not just labor, nothing, you don't like what's the word I'm looking for? I like a particular thing, a particular field, specialize.
Well, computers, electronics, and home appliances. We advertise HVAC, but I don't do HVAC.
Rico is cooperative, almost casual, as he settles into his chair with a level of composure that is immediately remarkable for someone sitting across from homicide detectives. Soon, the conversation turns to Roosevelt Dixon, and this is where investigators start paying very close attention to what Federico says, and more importantly, what he doesn't.
So, going back to this conversation you had with that detective, who was this guy he was asking you about?
Mr. Roosevelt.
Mr. Roosevelt?
Yeah.
Who's he?
Guy provide service for him.
Oh, shit. What kind of service? I mean, that's a,
Well, with him, it was always something different. You know, his computer's messed up, or his wife's laptop is, you know, something, or whatever, really. Out to his microwave, you know, whatever.
how'd you end up meeting him? So how long you been working for him?
Off and on. I probably met him when I first came down here too. So I really don't know like exactly how much times I've worked for him, but it's been off and on, spread out throughout the years. Yeah.
So the last 3 years you've kind of been going over there, and so he paid you for all these things, correct?
Yeah.
How did he pay you?
Cash. Always cash. Yeah.
Always cash.
$10 gas, 25, 35 bucks for the call.
So nothing huge.
Oh no major repairs or anything like that. No.
Did you ever meet his wife?
Yeah.
And she, same thing, she would have you do things
Well,
too?
her, I only looked at her laptop. And him, he more than like, you know, he mostly wanted whatever it may have been.
How was he as a guy though, man? As far as paying you and stuff like that, was he good or?
Oh yeah, he was fine.
Okay, no issues with him paying you?
Oh, never.
When was the last time you saw him?
I had an appointment with him. Man, if you could speak to Ortiz, because I don't have my phone on me, but if you could speak to him, he knows the exact dates. I gave him the dates because I was actually able to look at my message stream at the time. I'm gonna say it was the 19th of June.
Something subtle but impossible to miss happens the second the detective asks him when he last saw Roosevelt. Rico freezes, just for a moment, before scrambling for an answer he clearly wasn't ready to give, which is exactly the kind of hesitation you see from someone mentally calculating what he can say without contradicting himself later. What Rico doesn't know is that everything he's said so far has been a test, and he's about to find out what happens when the detectives stop testing and start pushing.
So, why are we here?
I don't know, but I don't let know.
No. You still don't know?
No.
No? I'm really interested in your relationship with Mr. Roosevelt.
Okay.
I think there was a little more to your relationship with him than what you're telling me.
What do you mean? It was just service calls and that was it, really.
That was it?
Yeah, I mean, he likes to call everybody his friend, you know, friend, but anytime we ever spoke, you know, it was mainly about just service, that's all.
You gonna tell me that in the 3 years you've been working, doing what you do, you can't recall how many times you went to his house?
That's a rough question, man. I really can't.
Was that many?
It had to have been because I really can't. Like I said, when people call, I drop by, you know, if I can make it, I'll make it. If I can't, I'll reschedule. He usually texts me everything.
What's really interesting here is how Federico doesn't ask a single follow-up question. He doesn't ask how or when Roosevelt died. He doesn't express shock, sadness, or even basic curiosity as you'd expect. For a man who visited this couple's home regularly for 3 years, who sat at their dining room table and worked on their personal devices, the absence of any emotional reaction is the first real red flag. The detectives notice this immediately, but rather than confront him directly, they take a different approach. What they're about to do is test exactly how far Federico will go to maintain this act. And before the hour is up, he'll trip over his own airtight story without even realizing it.
But you can tell me while we're here.
Yeah, I'm about to. You should probably already have a clue. Because, let me tell you this. All right. you're 35, and I mean, you're kind of savvy, pretty intelligent, you know computers and stuff like that, technology in general, right? So you understand nowadays where we are with technology, right?
Yes.
And just in general, but put that as in a police aspect of it, law enforcement. How far technology has come.
Yes.
Okay. So let me, I guess, say to you that technology has brought you right here to this chair.
Really?
Yeah.
How is that?
Well, I never met you. I didn't know who the hell you were until recently. So here we have an individual who we're investigating, who's we're investigating. Okay. And here we have you sitting right there. And one of the things that I said brought you here was technology. So technology brought you guys together, brought us together. Okay? Didn't pick you up out of a hat. It's not funny, haha, but funny in that there's that connection that you know him, he's dead, and you're here.
Okay.
Getting the picture? Not yet? No?
Are you involved in any way with that?
No.
No? I think that's what he's trying to ask.
No.
You mentioned your girl, right? How long you been with her? Staying with her at that house?
That was a setup the detective had been building toward the entire conversation. Roosevelt is dead, and the two men are connected in a way no coincidence can explain. But Rico's response to all that is a flat, calm no, as if he still can't figure out what any of this has to do with him. However, instead of pushing, the detectives pull back and change the subject, because they know the best way to catch him is to let him keep talking.
And you said you're not sure how many times you went to this Mr. Roosevelt's house?
But yeah.
Would you say more than 5 times?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have an idea of where he lives at, right?
Yeah.
You've been to his house, you know how to
Yeah.
get there?
Yeah, it's off of Pleasant Hill.
Pleasant Hill Road?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm guessing you know the layout of the house? Because obviously you've been in there.
Yeah, I've been there. It's just really open.
It's an open concept?
Yeah, it's like really open, yeah.
I don't know that family too well, right? But did he invite you inside and offer you anything when you go there?
Well, when I go there, I'm normally, for service, I'm inside. I don't do outside work at all.
What areas of the house do you get to go to?
Well, I've been in his office. I've been at the dining room table working on his wife's laptop.
Okay.
I've been in his garage.
Okay.
And I've used the restroom there before.
Okay. And I know you said earlier, and I'm tired, you've done several different things, right? Some of which is computer stuff and some of which is just helping around.
Yeah, computers and appliances.
The computer stuff, I guess you're pretty good with that?
I do the basics when it comes to computers. He really needed help with a lot of just basic stuff. He mainly needed help with his email.
Okay.
He was saying that he didn't know how to sync his email.
Now, is that with his computer or her computer?
With his and her both.
What kind of computer did he have?
HP?
Was it a laptop or?
Oh no, it was a desktop.
It was
She
a
had
desktop?
she had the laptop. Yes.
Okay.
Notice something interesting here. It's been over 20 minutes into this interrogation, and not one person in this room has actually said what happened to Roosevelt. And Rico, a man supposedly confused about why homicide detectives pulled him out of bed at 6 a.m., hasn't asked a single question about it either. That silence works both ways. For the detectives, it's a window. An innocent man would be leaning forward, demanding answers, but Rico leans back, waiting to see what they know first. And for him, the silence is a trap of his own making. Every second he doesn't ask is another second he confirms he already knows exactly why he's there.
Do you get to? I'm a real dummy when it comes down to the computer world.
Mm-hmm.
Do you are you able to like see the websites that maybe he's going into that's maybe giving him a virus or something?
Yeah, history.
Have you noticed something like, hey, you shouldn't be going to this website because it gives you viruses? Like, how would you educate him in not getting viruses?
Well, the first thing I do is I add an ad blocker to his browser.
Okay.
That will eliminate most of the viruses. I advise him to keep it on if he gets any pop-ups that's asking him to allow this page to show over his pop-up blocker, just deny it. But when it came to using the computer, he was pretty basic, he said. So he said he only logs into like his social sites or his email.
Okay.
So, the viruses that you found on his computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you run Windows program through it?
Windows Defender?
Yeah.
I like to bring Norton over, McAfee or something like that, do a quick scan, leave it that way, uninstall it, and then leave Windows Defender on there.
And you never saw the websites?
No, like websites, like just his general history.
Yeah.
I mean, if you open it, you're gonna see like whatever the person's doing at the moment, but like, I don't go to the history tab and go searching through your history, like.
Not even by accident.
You can't.
Shit he was doing.
Honestly, it's not easy to just do that by accident. You'd actually have to hit the history tab, and that's what I'm saying. That's not something you just can do by accident. If you could just, navigate around the screen.
The detective keeps pressing on Roosevelt's browsing history, which might seem like a strange angle for a murder investigation. But this is a classic interrogation tactic. By focusing on something that feels irrelevant, the detectives are lowering Rico's guard, letting him relax into the idea that maybe he's just here as a witness, someone who might have seen something useful on Roosevelt's computer. And somehow, it's working. You can see Rico settle into explaining antivirus software and ad blockers, almost forgetting he's in handcuffs. But this line of questioning isn't random. It's building toward a very specific piece of information that, when it finally surfaces, could explain not just what happened to Roosevelt, but why. Before that can be revealed, though, the second detective cuts straight to it with the question that puts Rico on immediate alert.
So he asked you, did you have anything to do with what happened to him? Did he not?
I'm still trying to figure out what's this situation, like what happened to him, and
He's dead.
I understand this. He has said this, but
What else is to say? I mean, he's dead.
Well, we're just trying to figure out if he had anything in his computer that he may or may not should have, and last time I checked, like I said, I'm not a computer genius, but I know, I heard that if you go to websites, you could get viruses. I also heard that if you download stuff, there's a potential to get viruses.
Yeah, that's
so
common.
I think we're asking you if there was anything that, like I said, we don't know the gentleman like you know him. Did he have anything in his computer that he probably shouldn't have had? I mean, you got to play with both of their computers.
Yeah, as far as should not have, I don't think so. I wouldn't believe so. He didn't seem like he would have something he shouldn't have.
Either this is the most oblivious man in Florida, or he's doing everything in his power to avoid being the one who says what happened to the Dixons out loud. And that's another tactic working against him. The detectives are deliberately forcing him to fill in the blanks, because the moment he acknowledges out loud that Roosevelt was murdered, he's admitting to knowledge only the killer would volunteer. So Rico keeps dancing around it, and the detectives let him, for now.
When you did these repairs, I think you mentioned to my partner that Roosevelt paid you in cash.
Yeah.
How does the price points work out?
Well, for him, I was just giving him a discount, He said he would give me some referrals if if I, just took care of him. He said that he didn't want it to be taken advantage of because he had a guy in New York that would look at his machine. He charged him a flat rate, and I'm pretty sure that's how I stuck with letting him know $10 gas, and depending on what it may be, we can range from like $25 to $35 for the call, because it was always short calls. It was nothing ever too long or extensive.
And when it was time for you to leave, I guess when the job was done and he pay you, it just... here you go. Sometimes he'll tip.
To his credit, Rico's been holding up well during this interrogation, deflecting and keeping his composure. But what he casually reveals next is going to be his undoing, and he doesn't even realize it.
Did you notice anything else around his house, on the outside of his house?
No.
You ever notice the security cameras he had?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm thinking you told him.
No, outside. He ever have you work on those?
No. He actually was gonna refer the person who did those to me for my parents.
He mentions noticing the surveillance cameras inside Roosevelt's home, the same cameras that, on the night Roosevelt and Jeanette were killed, someone made sure would never record a thing. At this point, the detectives step out, and when they walk back in, the men sitting across from Rico are no longer interested in making small talk. They know he's hiding something, and they have every intention of dragging it out of him. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
I personally for me, and I say this through my experience, through what I've done in this investigation, I'm going to be honest with you and tell you that I know that you're not telling me everything. And people have their reasons for that. And hopefully this morning we're going to find out your reason for that. Because straight up, you ain't telling me the truth.
About what?
But I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you right now. You say about what? Do you remember probably about halfway into our conversation I started asking you about his house and his computer, and smart home and stuff like that? So, when you did work for him, you did it on his computer.
Yeah.
I told you that I saw his computer, and I saw what was in that computer. And we're talking about history. I saw his history, and I saw the shit that he was doing.
What was he doing?
He was doing some pretty nasty stuff that, in this, besides homicide, that'd be the second worst thing a person can do. And it was on his computer. And I think you saw that. And you told me yourself you're a father of a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old, so you have kids. So when someone who you're working for, this is my personal opinion, you run into some shit that's, I don't think anybody in society really goes for. I think that can make a person angry.
There's a moment in every interrogation where a single confession can change the entire trajectory of a case. For Rico, that moment just passed. The detective offered him a door, walk through it, and you're a father who snapped. A man who saw something unspeakable on Roosevelt Dixon's computer and lost control. The detective doesn't even say, "You killed him." He says, "Something happened." By doing so, he's handing Rico a partially intact defense. But Rico doesn't even consider the offer. And that answer, the real reason Rico was inside the Dixons' house that night, is something he'll take to trial with him. And when it finally surfaces, it will be so painfully simple and ugly that it makes the brutality of what he did even harder to comprehend.
So, you did work in his house.
Yes.
You saw the monitor. You saw that he had a surveillance system in his house.
Yeah, the monitor right above his computer.
Then you saw the camera system.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you understand, being a computer guy, how this stuff is stored, right? You say,
Yeah.
What do you mean,
Like stored, like set up and stuff?
Set up, memory. So you're familiar with that?
Yeah, everything pretty much has memory. Yeah.
Right. So you know there's a hard drive where you can store memory, and then you have the cloud.
Yeah.
Okay. So I told you in my explanation that Technology brought you here. Okay? So you putting 2 and 2 together now? Technology, camera system, you in his house. You kind of get it now?
I've been to his house, so I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay. So,
I don't think you get what he's talking about at all. I just want to make sure you get what he's talking about. Do you understand what he's saying?
The camera system.
Yeah. Keep going.
And me.
Keep going.
And you said we're together?
That's right. If you don't understand something, just ask. Just ask. It's okay, man. A lot of people sometimes don't.
I mean, this isn't looking good on me. I mean,
it's not looking good for you, and I'm telling you that we didn't pick you out of a hat. We did not. The investigation led right to you. Okay?
I can't see how.
I see exactly how. You understand there's a process in this country, right, when it comes to law enforcement investigations, making arrests, getting all that stuff. Okay, so we basically had to prove that you had something to do with his death.
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. Please don't do that, no.
Rico's response here is worth studying closely. There's no outrage of any sort. There's just a kind of quiet horror settling over him. His eyes drop as he shakes his head over and over, with the desperation of someone watching his entire life slip away. What follows this reaction is one of the more psychologically intense moments in this entire interrogation.
So you had nothing to do with it?
No, not at all.
And here's the thing.
I didn't see anything.
But I'm going to tell you this. In my experience, I've sat in this chair thousands of times, or a chair like this, and had someone in that chair thousands of times. And I'm going to tell you, dude, I might bullshit a lot, have a good sense of humor, but there's a couple of things I believe in. And number one, dude, I'm a strong Christian person. And when somebody says, and you haven't done it yet, and I give you credit for this, the same people that sat in that chair would say, I didn't do it. I swear to God. I swear on my children. I swear on my parents' grave.
Yeah.
And those same people sat there. And I know what I know, they were freaking lying out their ass. Okay? So it takes just more than just saying that. And we're not going to have someone sitting there like you are in handcuffs because we ain't got nothing on them. Because we do. We always do. We do our homework before that.
I understand, yeah.
So this is what we do. We don't necessarily have to bring people in here. We don't. Because if we have the evidence, we just make an arrest, and that's it. Pass the paperwork on to the courthouse, and we're done. Okay? But we do bring people in here to give them the opportunity to explain, because there's always an explanation for something. Unless you're a cold-hearted ass freaking killer, you don't give a shit as to the reason. We don't get many of those, because normally we get people in here that either made a mistake, something happened in the spur of the moment, it should change. Because in Florida, one of the biggest things when it comes to what we do is premeditation. You know what that means?
Not the complete definition.
Premeditation is somebody to have a thought about doing something, talking about it, planning it, and then doing it.
Understood.
Okay, that's a cold-hearted person.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
We get people that make mistakes, and I can tell you right now, my man, you made a mistake.
This is a deliberate persona shift by the lead detective. Interrogators call it the weary father approach, positioning yourself not as an enemy, but as someone who's seen it all and just wants to understand why at this point. The subtext is clear. The detectives already know Rico killed the Dixons. The only question left is whether he's the kind of person who can face it. From here on, things will only go downhill for Rico, and not because the evidence gets worse, though it will. They go downhill because for the first time in this room, the man in handcuffs realizes he isn't outsmarting anyone anymore.
And I'm saying that based on our conversations, in our interactions. Because to me, you don't seem like somebody who freaking went out there and planned this shit and freaking...
I don't have anything to do with this.
Then who?
The what?
Then who does?
I don't know.
I want to believe you, and that's why we're having our discussion, because I want to have a better understanding and believe you, and me and him are a little bit
At odds.
at odds.
We're at odds.
I really don't have anything to do with this.
So, you went to fix his computer.
Uh-huh.
I know you saw the child on that computer.
Child? No. I never seen child on this computer.
Really?
Never.
Really? So let me ask you this. Did you ever discuss the stuff he used to do with friends of yours? On the job, I mean.
Possibly.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So, what if I tell you that during my investigation, I found out information like that to corroborate what I already knew? That would make you look bad.
Because I never seen the child porn?
No, because I think you did, and I know that others know you did, but you sit here and you deny it. I can prove it. I can freaking prove it. So for you to sit here, and I mean, I know you might be scared, and that'll be normal.
Yeah.
That's normal. But the reason why you're sitting right here, right now, and not sitting at the county jail is because I wanted to hear your side of the story.
I have nothing to do with this.
Okay, let me tell you this. I'm not gonna play all my cards, but check this out.
Pay close attention to what just happened. Rico's denial of seeing the images comes faster and with more conviction than his denial of the murder itself. He'll fight the suggestion that he looked at a man's browsing history harder than he'll fight the accusation that he killed him. Seeing his constant denials, the detective is about to play his strongest card yet.
Some of the stuff we find out, I can tell you right now, I know what you were driving. Okay? Did you rent a vehicle recently?
My mother?
Yeah. What kind of vehicle was it?
Altima?
Altima. Who makes Altima?
Nissan.
Nissan.
Yeah.
Did she rent it for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like I told you, the van broke down for...
Right, transmission.
Yeah.
When did she rent this car for you?
Jeez, I don't know. I had it for about, I can't remember when she got it.
When did you return it?
That was a crazy day too, I can't even remember. We returned it, my father returned on a Tuesday. I can't remember.
Last week?
Possibly.
You said something about, you said that it was a crazy day. So you recall that day. You remember that day.
Because I had to get she told me, make sure that your vehicle is clean, because if we take it back, they're charging a $400 cleaning fee.
Who'd you go with to take it back?
My mother, she had to take it back.
Did you go with her?
Yes. Because we had to take both vehicles and...
Get a ride.
Yeah, exactly.
So, take that into consideration. Take the surveillance into consideration. So here we have two things that, unless you're really, really good, you can't beat technology. Okay?
What happened that day?
Nothing really.
You didn't do nothing for a whole day?
I mean, usual routine. I get up, listen calls. Usually advertise a little. I've been picking up my girlfriend every day, and that's about it.
Do you remember picking up your girl that day?
Well, I mean, I've been picking her up almost every day.
Well, I mean, you're making it seem like you're telling me what you did that day, but you really don't even know? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, like I said, usually when I have my phone, I can just run through my list. I can kind of get an idea like what I was doing.
I think my partner here could tell you what you did that day.
It was a week to the day that you told us you last talked to Mr. Roosevelt.
Okay.
When you said you called him, said you weren't going to be available.
Yeah.
Okay. So, a week from that, a week and a day, you returned the car. So, that was on a Monday we're asking you about. And you said you don't recall? Do you recall, you familiar with St. Cloud?
Yeah.
You're familiar with St. Cloud. You know where 15, Narcoossee, and 192?
Yeah. 15 in Narcoossee, yeah.
But 15 is Narcoossee, and then you got 192.
Okay.
Okay? So, how is it then that we can put your car right there?
In St. Cloud? I've been staying there.
Well, that's a little further east than what you're staying. What business would you have up there in that area?
Narcoossee. Where exactly is that?
It's
Narcoossee. What's there?
And 192, there's a big intersection. There's like Winn-Dixie to the left, there's a Publix over there.
Oh. I was there. Narcoossee and Winn-Dixie. Damn. If you can just give me an idea what else is there. I can't recall the Winn-Dixie.
You're on 192, you're heading east, 15 crosses it. It's Narcoossee. Crosses it. There's the Winn-Dixie to the left, there's a little Taco Bell right there in the corner. Diagonally back there, there's a CVS, there's a strip, not a CVS, there's a Publix strip mall. On the right, there's a 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven.
Until now, Rico has been acting confused about his whereabouts that day, even as the GPS data from his own car tells a very different story. But when the detective mentions a 7-Eleven near the intersection of Narcoossee Road and Highway 192, something shifts. Suddenly, as you'll see next, Rico will have a really fascinating story to explain his route on that night. And for a man who couldn't remember what he did that day just seconds ago, it's going to be surprisingly detailed.
I remember I went there one day because my friend, he needed gas. He came down and I gave him some gas money.
What friend was that?
My friend in, where is he at now? Titusville, I think it's called.
But what's your boy's name?
Lewis.
Lewis what?
Ballard?
Ballard?
Yeah.
So he said he lives in Titusville?
I think it's no, Cocoa, excuse me.
He lives in
Cocoa, yeah.
Okay. So he came, he met you at 7-Eleven because what?
He needed some gas. He was going through some hard times and he needed gas money to go back and forth to work.
So he drove from Cocoa to that 7-Eleven so you can give him some gas.
Yeah, he had to go to work the next day. He came with his girlfriend, I believe, and he needed some gas money.
What's the girl's name?
Oh, I don't know his girlfriend at all.
What did you say his last name was?
Ballard, B-A-L-L-E-R-D or A-R-D.
Okay.
His friend, Lewis Ballard, supposedly drove from Cocoa, roughly an 80-mile round trip, to the specific gas station near a 7-Eleven late at night, just to collect $40 or $50 in cash from Rico, the kind of gas money he'd literally burn through making the trip. The detective does the obvious math, but Rico just doubles down anyway.
So I guess a reasonable person would say, my man drove from Cocoa to there, so you can give him some gas.
Yep, and he told me it was only like a 40-minute ride. He just needed some gas. He needed to make sure he got to work.
That's an 80-mile round trip.
Yeah.
To get gas that he's gonna need to get to work.
Yes.
That don't make no sense.
Hey, listen, I'm telling you, he came for gas. I gave him the money. Matter of fact, he actually gassed up right there at that gas station, yeah.
So if there's video, then we can, we'll be...
More than definitely, yeah.
Okay. All right, so what'd you do after that?
Gave him the gas, and I drove back.
You drove back where?
St. Cloud. Oh, right there by Rebecca. Well, you just got me at.
So you went from that salon right back to the house, right? That's what you're saying?
I'm pretty sure.
Think about that, my man. Think about it.
I'm trying. It's, trust me, this is crazy. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty
sure. I'm gonna give you a little piece of advice right now. Okay. When you're talking about the rest of your life, you may want to be more than just pretty sure. So you may want to think about the answer you're going to give me.
Oh man, my mind is scattered all over the place right now.
Do you remember what time you gave him gas?
Yeah, it was late.
What's late?
Real late. It could have been midnight, after midnight.
How much you gave him?
I gave him about $40-50.
You don't know what you gave him?
About 50
Was it
bucks.
cash?
Yes. Just for him to pump up gas, and that's it.
You didn't talk to him?
Yeah, I mean, we spoke, how's everything? He told me his girlfriend is going crazy, and...
So how did it come about that you guys decided to do that?
What's that?
Go to the 7-Eleven there.
Because he needed gas money. I wasn't going to him. He had to come to me.
He called you, said he needed gas money?
He texted me and,
No, that's right.
He texted one day, said he needed gas.
One day? It wasn't that day he texted you?
He texts me. He calls me a lot for 20 year, 30 year,
Oh, so you know him that long?
Oh, yeah, I've been knowing him forever.
Watch Rico's hands during this exchange. He's explaining an 80-mile round trip for gas money, a story that makes no sense, and his hands stay mostly clenched in his lap. That unnatural stillness is its own tell, because a man telling the truth doesn't have to monitor his own body this carefully.
Was it out of the kindness of your heart that you called him to offer the gas, or did he call you asking?
Oh, no. I might have contacted him and told him, if you still need gas or something like that, you can come on down, because he's a late person. He works nights. He gets off around like 11, and yeah.
So you called to offer up gas money?
Honestly, I can't remember the whole situation, but I did meet him there to give him gas.
And you said when you guys were at the gas station, you guys talked?
Yeah.
Inside the car, outside the car?
We was outside, yeah, while he was pumping gas.
And what did you guys talk about?
I can't remember. Shooting,
Just shooting shit.
Yeah, I know he was talking about his girlfriend. She was mad because she had to drive all the way down here just to get the gas, and he should have had the gas money. He should have saved money, or...
Rico knows the gas money story sounds ridiculous. He can hear it as he's saying it, but he can't stop talking because silence right now would mean admitting the story doesn't work. What he probably doesn't realize, or perhaps desperately hopes the detectives don't know, is that the 7-Eleven meeting is the exact event that triggered the entire investigation. Lewis Ballard's girlfriend was sitting in the car that night while Rico spoke to Lewis at the gas pumps. She couldn't hear the full conversation, but she heard one word clearly enough: bodies. That's when she called 911. That was the same call by the frantic woman at 1:44 a.m. on July 10th. It all leads back to this gas station, this conversation, and this man sitting in front of the two detectives. And by this point, the detectives have been patient for over an hour, and their patience is about to run out.
Rico, remember when I told you that part of the things that we try to do is try to figure out was somebody planned this shit out, premeditated, or it was just something that happened that was an accident, self-defense or something. Two totally different types of people. It's basically the easiest way to put it is you have a monster or someone who made a mistake. That's probably the best way to explain it. So you tell me that you gave him gas, you guys bullshitted, he got gas, took off, you went back to the house. You did not go back to the house. I know for a fact you didn't go back to the house. Now listen, Rico, listen to me. You're not here just because we're trying to pin the on you. You're here because we know that you did it. Okay? But this is what I'm telling you. This is what I'm telling you, man. You're here really as an opportunity to explain to us what happened that day. That's it. It was an accident. Shit happened. I was pissed. He was pissed. I don't know. But it definitely would benefit you. Because ultimately, for me, you know I'm going home at some point today. Right? And chances are that you're not.
Me?
Yeah.
This is not good. I didn't do anything. I did not do anything.
You're going to stick to that story.
I did.
Just like that. Just like that.
I didn't.
When I already presented so much shit to you, that it should at least give you that doubt in your mind that, damn, kid,
No,
you know?
I didn't do anything. So, yeah.
For the first time, something in Federico's tone gives way. His voice drops and the rehearsed tone he's maintained for over an hour starts to fall apart, as if he's slowly realizing the walls are closing in. But he still says nothing concrete. And that's perhaps the most frustrating part of all of this. He's sitting across from detectives who know he killed 2 elderly people, a couple whose daughter is out there right now wondering what happened to her parents, and he still gives them nothing. But not for long, because in just a few minutes, Rico is going to volunteer a name he shouldn't have, and he won't realize the damage until it's too late.
Technology is his forte. Okay? Why would all those things, you know, phone, cars, video, why would that keep coming back to you?
I don't know.
Somebody set you up?
I don't know.
Did somebody set you up?
No, I don't think so. I don't know what's going on.
That explains that part of it.
So, like, you drive that car, I guess, your mom?
Which car?
The one that was rented that you talked about?
Yeah.
Did anybody else drive that car?
Maybe my mother one time.
Does your mom know where Mr. Roosevelt lives at?
No.
Who knows where Mr. Roosevelt lives at besides you?
That I know just me, really.
So, you being a driver of that vehicle, you're the only one that knows where Mr. Roosevelt is at. And there's every indication that that vehicle was there. How can you explain that?
I don't know.
And that's where we need your help from. That's actually where I honestly thought you were like a certified IT guy and maybe knew more than
No, only for...
He's pretty good, you know?
Yeah.
But just that simple thing, you can't explain.
What's that?
Why would you, the only person who drives that vehicle that knows where Mr. Roosevelt lives at, would be at Mr. Roosevelt's house? How do you explain something like that?
But I wasn't at his house.
What I'm trying to figure out then, if it wasn't you, A, the only person who drives that car, and maybe your mom who doesn't know where Mr. Roosevelt at, what you're telling me is now that there's like a ghost that drove that car there.
No, I'm not telling you that. I see what you're saying.
If you could explain it better, maybe we'll have a better understanding. And the same thing goes with like, what did you say, like video stuff. Now, obviously the goal is to perhaps get the true side of what happened. Maybe you were involved in something.
No, I wasn't involved in anything.
Okay. So there's a lot of questions that you can't explain, like give answers to, but and your only answer was like, I don't know.
This is crazy, like.
So, what's the crazy part of it is, there's a thing called, and I know you know because you're a computer guy, there's certain timestamps, right? So like when you upload something, I guess, into a computer, I just learned this stuff, so I'm excited. You upload stuff into a computer, it gets like stamped, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Or when you, like you said something big where I learned too, history.
Mm-hmm.
All history is time-stamped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
That'll show you your time.
You understand
and your
that
page.
now?
Yes.
So this new stuff that I'm learning about, and he's like I said, he's a pro.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has a timestamp.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's crazy?
What's that?
Those timestamps says a certain date,
Mm-hmm.
a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
Now let me ask you this: can I manipulate those timestamps?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. And a lot of like geniuses in that type of business, you can't manipulate those timestamps, right?
No, I don't think so.
So help me understand a little bit more. Maybe, I guess, for him to understand too. Why is all those timestamps pointing at one direction and only one direction?
I don't know.
And at this point, the lead investigator is done playing the game, and what comes next is the most direct confrontation Rico has faced all morning.
Dude, that's gonna be defense for everything I don't know. I don't know that Rico. I really don't think you understand this. Okay, and I'm telling you, I don't think you understand this. Okay, there's a difference at what you're looking at. There's a huge difference between, I'll say it again, premeditation and then something else happening. That's why you're sitting in that chair right now, man.
I hear what you're saying.
Because I think, no, I took back. I know that I could develop premeditation on you.
I didn't do anything.
And you know what state you're in, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you're gonna tell me that you met Lewis at 7-Eleven to give him gas?
Yeah.
Okay. How good of a friend is Lewis to you?
Pretty good friend. I mean,
Good enough that you can entrust him with personal stuff?
Sort of in a way.
Is he good enough friends with you that he entrusts you with personal stuff?
I would say sort of, like, you know, we know each other a long time, but we don't talk as often. Then we have spurs where we do talk for a while, and then we stop talking. So
He says personal, but what about secrets?
secrets.
Yeah, things that no one should ever talk about. Ever.
What the?
Like, would we talk like that?
Yeah.
Is that someone that you could tell a secret to?
I wouldn't say so.
Have you told him any secrets lately?
I don't know. Not that I can think of. Lately, yeah, I don't know. He hasn't been doing too good lately. I'm not, you know.
Too good like what?
I
What does that
don't
mean,
know.
too good?
I don't know. Kind of. I don't
Listen,
know.
I want you to really think about what I just said. Really think about it, okay? Is he someone that you might have told a secret to?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You should know that.
I mean, what do you consider a secret? I mean,
Killing somebody.
no. Listen, I have nothing to do with that. Like, I have nothing. This is crazy. Come on now.
When he set you up?
I don't think so. I mean,
By this point, Rico has invested so much in this performance, with over an hour of denial, deflection, and fake confusion, that admitting the truth now would mean admitting he wasted all of it. And for some people, that's harder than admitting to murder.
Dude, you know we have the ability to find things out about phones,
yes.
right? Do you not think we already looked into yours?
More than likely, yeah.
No. And you think we're gonna find something in there?
No.
No. How about shit that contradicts some of the answers you've already given us? Yes, the answer would be yes.
Okay.
Because I've already found a bunch of contradictions. Okay? But you gotta sit here and continue to lie.
But I'm not lying.
That shows your character. And it shows kind of lack of remorse, lack of
but I'm not,
sympathy.
It's not that. It's I'm here in cuffs. I didn't do anything, and this looks like a real bad situation because it's like you're telling me I did something that I didn't do, and
Really?
it's a lot.
Really? Okay.
Every chance he's been given to explain, to show he's human, to show that something went wrong and he's sorry, Federico has refused. And that silence speaks louder than any confession ever could. But it doesn't matter anymore, because the next words out of the detective's mouth are the ones Rico has been dreading since the moment he sat down.
Man, let me tell you, I got an arrest warrant for you and charging you with murder.
Me?
Yeah. And guess what? The opportunity was there, my man. The opportunity was there. So, based on all this
I didn't
stuff...
murder nobody, though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't murder nobody. I did not murder. I would not take a life.
How about two?
What?
How about two?
To what?
Two people.
2 lives of innocent-ass, old, law-abiding,
I would
God-fearing people.
I would not.
With still no confession coming, they lay out every piece of evidence one final time.
I need you to explain that day a little bit better than...
This is terrible.
Just tell us the truth, okay? Tell us honestly.
I'm telling you the truth.
Look. Just like you said, we worked our asses off, man. And probably just as much as you did. When I say that, it's because you ain't stupid. And I'm not going to call you stupid. But there's certain things that you did to try to avoid being that stupid guy. Unfortunately, those acts or actions that you've done were easily traceable, track you down. You don't get what happened this morning by accident at your house, right?
I know.
So, just like I explained to you earlier, and he explained to you earlier, there's always 2 sides to the story. The one that we got is pretty good because I told you it's time-stamped. But I'm sure, I know for a fact that you have your own story. I know that for a fact already. It's if you're willing to release that story.
I don't have a story.
I want you to understand me. You know why? Because I can go. He taught me a lot. We could literally go minute by minute of what occurred July 9th, 2018. The day that you said was even crazy for you. You want to know why? Because that's going to be the day that you're never going to forget in your whole life. Whether you're at home, whether you're in jail, you will never forget that day ever. No matter what I say, what we do, that day is going to be imprinted like a timestamp in your brain and in your heart.
July 9th?
Forever. Forever. And when you might be confused because it was late, but it's going to be that day, hours before you met up with Lewis. So I can refresh your memory even more. That day, you're never going to forget. You know exactly what happened, when it happened. You know more detail than anyone could imagine. You made a decision that day to do something. It's clear and day. Where you messed up was you didn't track your steps that well.
What steps? What are you talking about?
I already had told you. I want to repeat it, okay? I can repeat it. A, your phone. Alright? Your phone is timestamped for every little thing you do.
Yeah.
You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. That's your phone. Nobody else's phone. The vehicle that you drove That's timestamped.
Mm-hmm.
Only you know where Mr. Roosevelt lives.
Mm-hmm.
Camera system.
Mm-hmm.
That's timestamped.
Mm-hmm.
Which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Meeting locations, phone calls. I could go on and on, but I'm not going to tell you that. The idea is to get the story from you.
I have no story.
Nearly 2 hours in, Rico's exhausted. He's been tracking his own story, the detectives' questions, the evidence they've hinted at, and now his only response is saying, over and over. It really makes you wonder, when does a man who's lied for 2 hours finally stop talking in more than monosyllables? When the lies aren't working anymore? Or when he's simply too tired to care?
All that he says boils down to one freaking thing that I said already. It boils down to you planned this hard freaking cold-hearted murder, or your intentions were something else. Something went wrong that day, and them two ended up dead.
That's the one I think. But
I'm telling you, the way that you're acting, your answers compared to what we've told you, and we've told you more than we normally tell people. We don't have to do that. Everything comes back to the fact that you're a freaking stone freaking cold killer.
No.
And you know who's going to see that, right? You know who's going to ultimately see that? Everybody.
But I'm not. I wouldn't do something like that.
The world.
I wouldn't do something like that. You can't say that.
I just said it, and you know what? I'm going to prove it. I'm going to prove it.
I did not do anything like that.
Is there going to be anything in that house that is going to support you or support us?
I don't know what you mean.
What I'm saying is that is there anything in that house that A, perhaps doesn't belong to you, B, that there's something in that house that you might have used or touched during this incident? I mean, I just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
What if there's stuff in your house that belongs to Mr. Roosevelt? Is that possible?
No.
Okay. I guess we have to go baby steps or whatever. I really don't know. We have to go baby steps, but...
I can tell you, I'm done going baby steps with you.
I understand.
I am. And you know, ultimately, it's a person's decision. It's an individual decision which way we want to take this. Okay. Unfortunately, you're the one in that position, not me. Okay. And you can sit here and say 1,000,000 times, I don't know. What does it mean? But I can prove it. All right?
After nearly 2 hours of denial, deflection, and lies that grew more desperate by the minute, Rico finally says the only thing all morning that doesn't seem rehearsed for once.
Look, I don't mean to be rude, right? But this looks bad. Can I see a lawyer, please?
Yeah.
The investigation would later reveal what Federico refused to during his interrogation. According to testimony at trial, Rico had approached his friend, Louis, with a plan to rob the Dixons before the killings. Louis declined, so Rico went alone. At first, he'd intended to extort Roosevelt at gunpoint and force him to an ATM, but when Roosevelt lunged for the weapon, Rico shot him in the head. Jeanette Dixon was killed next for the sole reason that she was home, just because Rico couldn't leave a witness behind after killing Roosevelt. Even though the 72-year-old woman wasn't a threat, her daughter, the same woman who called deputies days later because her parents wouldn't pick up the phone, would arrive to find out that both of her elderly parents had been dead the entire time she'd been calling them desperately. After the murders, he had disabled the surveillance cameras, taken a locked box from the house, and driven to the 7-Eleven to ask Louis for help disposing of evidence. Louis refused again, but his girlfriend heard enough of their conversation to call 911. The investigators would later find the murder weapon hidden under a mattress belonging to Rico's girlfriend. In the end, the Dixons' only mistake was trusting the man they led into their home, a man who killed them both for whatever was inside that locked box and the cash an ATM would give him. In 2024, after a 6-day trial, A jury found Federico Gondola guilty on all counts. 2 counts of first-degree murder with a firearm, burglary with assault and battery with a firearm, and robbery with a firearm, and sentenced him to life in prison. If you liked our production, subscribe and watch the next video for an even more shocking case.